Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. With this video, I don't know how to be. Like, I'm just gonna talk, but as you can tell today from the title, I'm gonna be talking about abortion. It's not one of those topics that people like to speak about, and it frustrates me a lot when I see people who haven't been through it try and have an opinion on it. And when I say try and have an opinion on it, it's not necessarily the procedure being wrong or right, it's how you should feel afterwards. And us as people, we're human, and I'm gonna cry already. What the fuck? Has it even been 30 seconds yet? Right, but no. So I know people are gonna be like, oh, why is she talking about stuff like that for? Doesn't she have any shame? I did feel shame when it happened, and I shouldn't have felt shame. And I know there's probably going to be another girl watching this who needs to hear this from someone, and I'm going to be that person. So if you don't like it, switch it off. If you want to come and chat shit in the comments about murderer and all this stuff, you can go and yam your mum's about your whole mate, because just don't come with that talk around here. That's all I'm asking for. If you're pro-life, by all means, kudos to you. But for me, I'm pro-choice. So whether you do or don't want to do something to your body is completely up to you. It's not anyone else's decision. Don't be influenced by anyone else's decision. Please do what feels right to you. And I'm not going to talk. I'm going to speak about my experience, but I'm not going to speak about what happened that led up to it, the people that were involved, anything like that. It's going to be more the aftermath of it and how I dealt with it, because I feel like a lot of people just feel like, okay, boom, it's like a 2-minute procedure and like that's it, suck it up, get over it. It's way more than that. It stays with you for years. It still stays with me till now. It's just, it's not easy, basically. But yeah, so I don't remember how far I was, but it was quite late into it, so I didn't take the tablet. I had to take, I think when you can only take the tablet up to 8 weeks, I think it is, I was over 8 weeks, so I had to have the surgical procedure, put you under anesthetic. And when I woke up, I remember waking up with tears in my eyes, like literally crying. And I said, the first thing I said was, I want my baby. And I remember the nurse saying to me, it's fine, the baby's gone now, like you'll be alright. And it's like, that's not what I wanted at all. I wanted my child. And then there was a black nurse there who was telling me that you shouldn't do those things. Like, she came to the ward to come and speak to everybody because she saw a black girl, telling me that I shouldn't have done these things, I shouldn't be doing these things, all of this stuff, like basically just trying to make me feel terrible for it. And it's like, blood, I really feel like shit, like thank you so much. But I don't know, with me there was times where I felt like, oh, I've really tried not to cry because I know my makeup is gonna run. But I just used to wonder where the baby was, like how they disposed of the baby, like where it was. I just wanted the baby back. And it's so weird because you've never met this person before. I didn't even know whether it was gonna be like a boy or a girl, but you just feel something. I don't know, it's weird. But I even wanted to commit suicide quite a lot of times. I could be with my child. I felt terrible. I thought I could make this video because I thought I wouldn't cry, but I was wrong. Oh my God. I just didn't like myself. I didn't respect myself. I let other people disrespect me because of what I'd done. I felt like I should be punished. It was my right to be punished, whether it be by friends, people around me, especially relationships. I thought I deserved to be disrespected because of what I had done, and I had no one to, not a soul to speak to about it. But I remember, I was gonna sound like I'm whispering now, but getting pregnant again was like on my mind so much that I could replace that child and that feeling. And even till now, the void is not as big because I feel like I'm over it a little bit more than I was. But even till now, as you can tell, it stays on my mind. And I feel like when I do have my first child, my actual first child, I'm gonna feel bad. I'm gonna feel terrible. And not everybody feels like this, but I'm gonna feel terrible, and I'm gonna feel like I'm having that child to replace the one that I got rid of. It's terrible to think of it like that, but you can't help how you feel. I remember even little things like hearing kids playing. Like I could hear kids playing in their garden when I came home. I just broke down and cried. Like I couldn't do it. I remember like a family friend had a child, and I went somewhere with my mum, and she sat next to me with her baby. And I love, if you know me, I love kids. I love children. And she had her baby, and she was carrying. She was like, "Oh, here, hold the baby," and I literally froze. I literally froze. I couldn't. And my mum was like, "What's wrong with you? Like, just hold the child." And my mum held the baby instead. It was so strange. I couldn't do it. And like, I don't know, like when I remember girls that got pregnant around about the same time as me, they kept their children, I was really jealous. Like I envied them so much, even though their circumstances weren't amazing. The fact that they were able to do that, I was so jealous of them. I just felt like a terrible person. I felt I wasn't worth anything. And even till now, I think about how old my child would have been, what the kind of things my child would have been into, the kind of mum I would have been. But at the same time, I don't know, would I have been more driven if I did have that child, or have I achieved more than what I would have achieved if I was a mum? Like I don't know. People literally think it's just a procedure. It's more than a procedure. It's way more than that. It haunts you for ages. But the funniest thing was, even though I felt like crap because of it, like a couple of guys that I'd been with noticed, and they abused the fact that I was like that, but they never knew why. But there was one particular guy who called me out on it, and he said, "Something's happened to you." And I told him, and he was literally just like, "Okay, like so what?" And I was just thinking, raw, like you actually don't care. He was like, "It's not a big deal, like you're not a bad person because of it. Obviously everyone's circumstances are different." And I can't say it's embarrassing because a man made me feel like I was normal, but that's when it clicked that I'm not a terrible person for doing what I did, even though I feel like it. And even till today, I still do feel like it. But it took him to tell me that. It's so funny, I don't even chat to him anymore. But it took him to let me know that I am not a bad person, that I am normal, that I'm worthy of being loved by someone and being treated right by everybody around me. I really had a structure. I thought I had a structure to this video, but me crying just threw me off. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. But for me, the thing that I think killed me the most was that they showed me my scan when they shouldn't have. I was just like, this is what it was, an actual person. Like, it's weird. Just stop and think about what you're doing to yourself, because they say that there's no long-term damage after an abortion, but I don't know. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm probably fine, but you always have these doubts. Can I start a family? Was that my only chance of having a child? Like, you have all these things that go on in your head. And oh my god, my eyes. Even the way the guy acted, he was such a fucking dickhead. Like, he was a prick, like a real life dickhead. He was such a cunt. Like, I'm sorry if but he was just an absolute bastard. The way he acted for a number of years. He'd been trying to contact me, and I'd block him, or I'd just ignore him. I just wanted nothing to do with him. Or the one time I saw him, he was just like, "You're beautiful, like don't just let guys just take the piss out of you, like you're much better than that." And I was just thinking, you dickhead, like you just acted like such a cunt in all times of your life where you just needed to be mature. Acted like an absolute dickhead. But anyway, he'd been trying to contact me for a number of years, so I just literally just blocked him out completely. Contacting me. And then I remember he must have added me on Twitter and said, "I need to talk to you, something important." And now I haven't spoken to him in ages. So I'm thinking that, raw, like, what could be that important? So he DM'd me and he was just like, can I have your number? Gave him my number. And then he called me and he said sorry for treating me the way that he treated me, and that no woman should be treated like that, and it's haunted him for all that time. And I can't say I was happy about it, because I tried to block out the experience and him, but it made me feel a little bit better that it wasn't just me that had suffered, it was him as well. And he just said, I hope you can find it in your heart to forgive me, because obviously he wants to move on, he wants to be a man, he wants to grow up, he wants to be more mature, and I had to respect that. And I forgave him, because like I said, I thought that I had not forgotten about the situation, because you can't forget about something like that, but I suppressed it, that I was over it. But evidently, guys, as we can see today, I'm not. But the fact that he felt like that, it was weird, because that's not how he acted. That isn't how he acted at all. But it's so hard to explain. But for me, it's just, you feel guilt, you feel resentment, and I can't wait to be a mum. But even now, everyone's always like, oh, you know, you're never ready to be a parent. I want to be a parent where I know you're never ready to have a child, but I want to be financially secure. I want to know I'm in a stable relationship. And I know so many people go into pregnancy or parenthood as single parents from the get-go, because it could happen to me, it could happen to absolutely anybody, but that's not what I want for myself. And it sounds so terrible, because me doing that was basically me trying to craft a perfect life, when that could have been a perfectly healthy child. Like, it sounds so bad, but that's what it is. I can't wait to be a mum. I absolutely cannot wait to be a mum. I can't wait to meet the father of my kids. I can't wait to have a family. I can't wait to have a family home. I can't wait to have all of that. But I know it's forever going to sit on my mind that I did that. And it's painful that people think that it's just so easy. I keep saying it, like, especially guys. Like, I've seen some messed up situations where the guy's like, yeah, just do it. It's not that easy. It's not like Baby Boy, where Jodie can just go and buy, what's her name? I don't remember what Taraji's name was. Just go and buy her strawberry milkshake and yeah, she gets over it. No. It's not that at all. Years have passed since this happened to me, and it still cuts me so deep when people just talk about abortion just so carelessly, or just undermine the psychological effects of it. It's beyond me how you can go to a clinic at the age of, I'm not saying this happened to me at 15 or 16, you can go to a clinic at a young age, because I've been just to go and get STI test, and I've seen some young girls there in school uniform, and these people are literally treating them or just testing them and letting them come in and out, and not actually asking them, are you okay, what's going on? Like, you don't have anyone to speak to unless you go to a doctor. Then you have to go and get assessment to do with mental health, and you have to go and do all these things. Sometimes people just want someone to speak to, someone to vent to. Obviously my experience is going to be completely different to other people's experiences out there, and I can't yet speak on what it's like to have been somebody who's had an abortion and since had a child. I don't know if I'm going to feel any different. I don't know if I'm going to feel worse. I don't know if I'm going to be happy. I don't know if I'm going to feel guilty. I don't know how I'm going to feel. If you're considering having one, do what's right for you in your circumstances. Like, it just pisses me off, stuff like Donald Trump with that whole getting rid of the funding for women and abortions and stuff to do with sexual health. Especially if you're getting an abortion not because you've been careless and you've just got pregnant X amount of times, you've just got rid of every single baby. If you know that you are a woman who does not have the funds or the resources to look after one child or two children, or this is your third pregnancy and you know financially you cannot afford it, you should be able to have that choice. You shouldn't be, and saying lumbered with the burden of a child sounds so terrible, but you shouldn't have to feel like that child is a burden to you, because financially you won't survive. You may not be able to eat because you have to fend for all three of your kids. It's not fair. You should just be given a choice. And I understand that it's not a nice thing to do, but when push comes to shove, people need to survive, and that's what needs to be done. I don't feel like this video made sense. I feel like I just cried and I was just being an over emotional wreck. But I wish people would be a bit more sympathetic to the situation. But at the same time as being sympathetic, I wish people would maybe speak about the situation more. So just empathize and sympathize with people where you can. Because what's going to happen, you're going to end up being on welfare or being on benefits. You're going to end up maybe looking for a council house. You're going to have to find a higher paying job. When you have a higher paying job, you're not entitled to certain benefits. Childcare is an arm and a flipping leg. So you're going to end up depending on the state either way, basically. And people are going to have something to say. It's like, people always say this, oh, pro-life, yes, the baby, save the baby. When the baby comes, they don't give a damn. The baby's a statistic to them then. The baby's just a number to them then. They don't care about that child. They couldn't give a damn about that child, their upbringing, their surroundings, the circumstances they're being raised in, their parents, the mental state of their parents. Even if something did happen to their parents, the child just gets taken away from their parents, put into a system who doesn't care about that child. It's just a numbers game. Everything in this life is a numbers game. But you cannot take away the choice. And I would like to speak on people who have been raped and who have had abortions because they've been raped, but I haven't experienced that, and I can't talk about something that serious that I haven't experienced. But even things like that, you can't force someone. In my opinion, that person has been punished enough. If she chooses to keep that child and raise that child, that's a different story. But if she wants to get rid of that child because it was forcefully put in her, and just the whole ordeal, by all means she should have every right to do that. Who are you, especially as a man? What makes you think, yeah, like, it's right? As a human being, what makes you feel like, yeah, that's, I don't because I can only imagine, because I know girls who have got pregnant and they resent their child because they might have had the child to get back at the guy they were with, or they thought, okay, if I keep this child, this guy's gonna love me, he's gonna want to be with me, and the baby doesn't give them that, so they resent their child. I know a lot of girls like that, and that's a very, very sad situation as well. I'll probably talk about that in another video. But for you to have been in that situation, I have to look at that child and still want to love them, but every time you look at that child, it's just a memory of what happened to you. That's torture. For now, that's all I have to say on the emotional side of it, because I'm going to turn into a blubbering wreck. But if you're looking for like a juicy story and gossip, I'm sorry I didn't give it to you, but that wasn't the point of this video. The point of this video wasn't how I got to that point. The point of this video was to share with people who don't seem to understand. I've said this for like 1,000,001 times. It is more than just a procedure. It is more than just putting a pill in your mouth. It's more than you just having a heavy period, or just heavy cramps, or just excessive bleeding for ages. It's more than that. There's so many complications that can happen afterwards. Sometimes the baby isn't even taken out properly, and you can have cramps for days, and the rest of that child just comes out of you at one point, and you have to see your child in that toilet and just flush it. That stuff happens to people, but to everyone it's just, yeah, we're just gonna wipe out the baby and that's it. Even stuff like gender bias abortions. Oh, I read an article about it the other day about abortions that procedures that are done in India, and oh, I'm sorry, I'm gonna cry again, but it's just because it's not like these people have got rid of that child because they were at a point in their life where they were very, very young. They couldn't afford it, they'd been raped, they weren't in a good physical condition, they weren't in a good mental condition. It's not like there were substance abusers where maybe it was better for them to get rid of the child than to have the child. It's based purely on gender. And the fact that it's illegal, but people are doing it by the bucket load, by the thousands. I don't know if it's by the 100,000s, but I can say tens of thousands for definite. And it's scary. Really, really scary. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching this video. I hope me sharing my story, it wasn't necessarily a story, but I hope me sharing my experience has helped somebody and let them know that they're not alone, and you're not a terrible person, and however you're feeling, somebody else has felt it too. And I know it will pass, and I know there will be a day where you'll be able to fully function, not think about it all the time. There will be a day where it's not the center of what is on your mind, even though you do get up and you go to work and you do loads of things. It's not at the forefront of your mind as much. But yeah, thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, tell a friend, and yeah, bye guys.